There are moments when time itself seems to pause, when the air thickens with a meaning that words cannot hold. You can feel it, a vibration beneath your daily rhythm, subtle but undeniable. The world looks the same, yet everything inside you senses a quiet rearrangement. The wind carries messages, the silence hums with intelligence, and your spirit knows something vast is approaching. This is not imagination. It is alignment. Every great turning begins first as a whisper, a ripple through the unseen that touches the souls who are born to remember. The old mystics called it the breath before revelation. Before the light breaks through the sky, there is always a sacred stillness, an inhale that draws every soul closer to the divine pulse. That stillness is here now. You have felt it in the way your emotions rise without cause, in the nights when sleep feels impossible, in the sudden awareness that the ordinary has become electric. You may not yet understand it, but your soul does. It remembers a promise, a moment written before birth when you agreed to awaken at a specific vibration in time. That vibration bears a name now, October 7th. October 7th is not merely a date. It is a door. It is the point at which heaven leans closer to earth and the invisible threads connecting all things tighten into clarity. It is the crossing where illusions unravel and truth begins to sing through the fractures. Those who are awake enough to feel will know. Those who are prepared will rise. Do not mistake this for prediction. This is preparation. You are not being warned. You are being summoned. Summoned to remember who you are beneath the noise of identity and the weight of expectation. Summoned to stand in a light that does not ask for belief, only recognition. Across generations, voices have echoed this same truth. The moment would come when energy itself would rearrange, when destiny would shift from the hands of chance to the rhythm of design. That moment is not distant. It breathes beside you. Listen. The signs have multiplied, the numbers repeat, the dreams grow clearer, the coincidences cluster too precisely to be ignored. The universe is no longer whispering. It is calling you by name. So breathe, chosen one. Center yourself in the stillness before the change. Feel the ground remember your footsteps. Feel the sky lean toward your heartbeat. The prophecy is not somewhere out there waiting to be fulfilled. It has already begun, and it begins through you. 1. The stirring before the shift. There is a trembling beneath the calm, a quiet pulse rippling through creation. You feel it when the night turns too still, when the silence hums with meaning. The air itself has begun to listen. Every breath, every flicker of wind carries a whisper that something unseen is preparing to reveal itself. October 7th approaches, not as a date on a man-made calendar, but as a vibration awakening beneath the fabric of time. The rhythm of the universe begins to quicken, like a great heart anticipating revelation. Those who are attuned sense it before it arrives. The tension in the chest, the weight in the dreams, the electricity in the ordinary moments that suddenly feel charged with purpose. There are no coincidences in this stirring. It is not anxiety. It is alignment. The ground beneath your feet remembers ancient patterns, and your body, though it has forgotten much, remembers them too. It recognizes the frequency of divine transition, the quiet sound the cosmos makes when something old is about to end and something luminous is about to begin. In the still hours before dawn, light leans closer to the world, examining what has been sown. Every unspoken prayer, every unnoticed act of compassion, every tear shed in secret becomes a signal sent into the heavens. And the heavens respond. October 7th draws near because the call has been answered. The cycle is closing. The new order prepares to unfold. Look at how nature mirrors the invisible. Trees release their leaves not in sorrow, but in wisdom. Rivers slow before they freeze. Even the stars seem to sharpen their brightness, as if readying themselves for witness. All of creation adjusts its breath to the same tempo. The rhythm is unity, the sound is anticipation, the energy is promise. Many cannot name what they feel, yet they feel it still. The mind searches for logic, but the spirit knows language older than thought. It knows the pulse of the eternal, and it whispers, "Be still." Something is coming. The shift is not loud, it is sacred. It begins as awareness before it becomes movement. You too are part of the preparation. The restlessness that visits your heart is not disorder. It is the awakening of memory. You are remembering the covenant written before birth, the moment your soul agreed to stand awake when the world turned. Each sigh, each strange coincidence, each repetition of numbers or symbols is a spark from that ancient promise reigniting within you. As October 7th nears, hours seem to stretch differently. Time bends, emotions rise, and dreams blur into prophecy. It is not madness, it is merging. The boundaries between what is above and what is below, between spirit and matter, begin to thin. Through those spaces, light seeps in like dawn through cracked stone. The world has waited long for this infiltration of truth. Listen closely. The signs do not shout, they hum. They appear in the way a stranger's eyes hold a familiar sadness, in the sudden gust of wind that feels like recognition, in the pulse of intuition that interrupts your routine. Every fragment of the day becomes a messenger. The sacred is disguising itself as ordinary moments to see who among the chosen will notice. You are being tuned like an instrument. The discomfort, the heaviness, the inexplicable hope, these are not random. They are calibrations, aligning your frequency with the divine chord about to be struck. October 7th will not announce itself with thunder. It will unfold quietly, but unmistakably, in the spirit of those who have listened. The world is inhaling, the veil trembles, the shift has already begun in the hearts of those who can hear the whisper beneath the noise. 2. The marked ones. Across generations, a hidden lineage has walked this earth, souls born with memory burning beneath their skin. They have wandered through cities and deserts, through noise and solitude, carrying the faint echo of a name that was once spoken in light. They are the marked ones, and the mark is not visible on the flesh but etched deep within the spirit, an invisible seal that hums whenever destiny draws near. They have always been different. Even in childhood, they sensed the strangeness of belonging nowhere yet feeling connected to everything. They watched others chase noise while their own hearts longed for something sacred. A sound, a presence, a return. They carried burdens they could not name, griefs that belonged to times they never lived, and visions that came like memories from a place beyond the stars. The marked ones are not chosen by hierarchy or worth. They are chosen by remembrance. Their souls agreed long ago to awaken when the world began to forget. They were planted like seeds across centuries, hidden in plain sight, disguised as ordinary lives. Teachers, healers, wanderers, artists, those who speak softly but hold thunder in their eyes. Each one was placed precisely where they were meant to be, waiting for a vibration to call them back into knowing. That vibration rises again now. The frequency of October 7th calls to them like a drumbeat beneath the surface of reality. Slow, ancient, undeniable. It is the same rhythm once heard around fires where prophets chanted to the sky, where elders traced symbols in the dust and whispered of the great turning. Those who are born to remember are beginning to feel the drum within their chest answering back. Their lives have been tempered by isolation, their strength forged in silence. They have walked through rejection, betrayal, and loss, not as punishment, but as refinement. Every wound was a classroom, every tear a baptism. They learned to see through illusion because illusion would not hold them. They learned to hear the voice of truth because the noise of the world failed to comfort them. Now, as the veil thins, the marked ones begin to recognize one another. Sometimes it is a look exchanged across a room, a word that carries too much meaning, or a dream that shows another face glowing with familiarity. The souls remember before the minds do. Something ancient stirs, a collective heartbeat synchronizing through time and distance. Their ancestors stand around them unseen, guardians of an old promise. From the temples of Kemet, from the highlands, from the desert prophets and the keepers of forgotten songs. Their lineage spans continents and epochs. Their blood hums with sacred codes. The same divine breath that spoke creation into being whispers again through them, "Awaken, for the appointed hour approaches." They are not here to convert or convince. They are here to anchor. Their task is not noise, but presence. Wherever they stand, the atmosphere shifts. Wherever they walk, the unseen takes notice. The universe recognizes its own reflection in them. Even the stars lean closer, remembering faces they once illuminated in other lifetimes. The marked ones walk with humility, but the ground beneath them knows their names. They are lightning in human form, disguised as still water. The time of hiding has ended. The time of remembering has arrived. When the world trembles on October 7th, it will not tremble in fear but in recognition. For the marked ones are the bridge between what was promised and what is becoming. Their silence has been their preparation. Their endurance has been their prayer. Their awakening is the prophecy unfolding in real time. The call has reached them, and somewhere deep within, they have already answered. 3. The cosmic signature. Beneath all things that move and breathe lies a code. A quiet mathematics of spirit that orchestrates both chaos and order. The ancients called it the divine ratio, the signature of creation itself. It is written not only in stars and sacred texts, but in the pulse of your veins, the spiral of seashells, the orbit of planets, and the rhythm of your breath. October 7th carries that signature, a convergence of patterns older than language. Every era holds a day when time bends toward balance, when hidden frequencies align to open a window between what is seen and what is infinite. This is not superstition. It is symmetry. The number 7, sacred across traditions, marks completion, the closing of cycles, the perfection of divine order. The 10th month, when shadows lengthen and the air grows thin, has long been a chamber of reckoning. Together they form a vibration, 10 to 7, a seal of restoration and awakening. Listen closely. The universe is numeric poetry. Frequencies hum in every atom, arranging destiny through resonance. When energies align, celestial bodies, emotional tides, collective thought, the unseen geometry of the cosmos glows brighter. That brilliance intensifies near October 7th, as if the Creator signs once more upon creation. I am still here. Ancient mystics knew this rhythm. They carved spirals into stone, not as decoration but as diagrams of eternity. The spiral expands infinitely outward while remaining anchored at its center, just as consciousness evolves yet always returns to its source. The Mayans read such movements as the breathing of the universe. The Hebrews named these moments moedim, appointed times when heaven and earth overlap. Eastern sages called them gateways of alignment, where karma accelerates and the soul remembers. Each culture described the same phenomenon with different tongues. The cosmic pulse, recurring through ages, summoning those attuned enough to hear. On October the 7th, that pulse reaches resonance. The earth itself adjusts its frequency, as if tuning a great instrument. Weather shifts. Hearts stir, synchronicities multiply. For some, this will appear as chaos. For those aligned, it will feel like recognition. The numbers themselves begin to speak. 7s, 3s, 11s, 9s. They appear in clocks, receipts, and dreams, not to predict, but to remind. These symbols are threads in the divine circuitry, evidence that the architect of existence still writes within the small details of life. Consider this. Every soul carries a specific vibration, and every vibration seeks harmony with its origin. When the universal tone rises, so too do the frequencies within us. That is why you feel restless, electrified, nostalgic for something nameless. You are not breaking, you are being tuned. October 7th is not a date. It is a chord struck across dimensions, and your soul hums in response. The cosmic signature cannot be owned, predicted, or contained. It reveals itself only to those who approach with reverence. Scientists name it resonance. Mystics call it prophecy. Poets feel it as longing. Whatever the name, its truth is simple. Everything moves toward alignment. Every imbalance, every pain, every unanswered question eventually finds its echo in a greater pattern. This is the mystery of October 7th. It is not the start of something new, but the revelation of what has always been. It is the universe remembering itself through you. When you see repeating signs, when intuition surges, when silence feels alive, it is the pattern announcing that the veil grows thin. You are standing inside sacred mathematics, inside the thought of the divine made visible. Breathe into it. Every heartbeat counts a rhythm written before time began. The numbers are not random, they are remembrance, and remembrance is how creation calls its children home. 4. The shattering of illusions. The air thickens before revelation. Silence turns heavy, trembling like glass about to crack. All that was once hidden behind comfort begins to rattle against the walls of perception. This is the moment the cosmos exhales, and the breath of truth sweeps through everything built on false foundations. October 7th does not arrive politely. It tears through the veil. Illusions, carefully constructed by fear and habit, begin to splinter. What once felt certain begins to waver. The world, long asleep beneath layers of distraction, blinks beneath an unfamiliar light. The trembling you feel within is not chaos. It is unveiling. The unseen world presses forward until even the blind can sense its weight. The sky mirrors the spirit. Clouds twist into shapes that feel like omens. The winds shift directions without reason. Birds grow silent, as if the earth itself has paused to listen. This is not apocalypse as destruction, but apocalypse as revelation. The moment the masks fall away and truth demands to be seen. Every illusion carries its own expiration date. False systems decay the moment divine light touches them. Institutions built on greed, relationships rooted in pretense, identities held together by ego. They cannot withstand the vibration of truth. The energy of October 7th does not destroy out of cruelty. It liberates through exposure. It reveals the skeletons of lies, not to shame, but to release. For only what is real can endure the frequency of awakening. The shattering will not be confined to nations or leaders. It will ripple through the personal, through you. The illusions of control, limitation, and separation begin to crumble. The false self, the mask crafted for acceptance, starts to fracture. You may feel the breaking as fear, but it is freedom. Like clay under pressure, the form must yield so the essence can breathe. In this light, even pain becomes sacred. Tears are baptisms. Confusion is initiation. As illusions fall, the senses sharpen. You begin to notice things as they are, not as you wish them to be. People reveal their true energy. Words you once believed lose their color. The familiar feels foreign because the frequency that sustained it is gone. This is the purification fire, invisible yet absolute. Ancient texts spoke of this moment in veiled language. The stars falling, the earth shaking, the trumpet sounding. They were never predicting physical ruin. They were describing inner revolution. The trumpet is consciousness piercing through noise. The earth that shakes is the human heart collapsing beneath its own weight of pretense. And when the stars fall, it is the breaking of false gods, ideas that claimed power over the divine within. You may see chaos in the world, but look closer. What collapses is what cannot carry light. What endures is what was always eternal. The illusions of scarcity, the narratives of division, the gods of control, they cannot survive the breath of what is real. The shattering is not punishment, it is mercy. In that split second when illusion dissolves, everything pauses. There is a stillness, sharp, almost holy, when truth stands naked and unfiltered. It is too bright for some. They turn away, clinging to the ruins of familiarity. But those who dare to face it, who allow the light to enter without resistance, are transformed in its gaze. The veil is not torn from the world, it is torn from the eyes, and once you have seen through it, nothing will ever appear the same again. The sky, the ground, the face of another, all will hum with the pulse of living truth. The collapse is only the clearing of space, the dismantling of shadows to make room for light too vast to be contained. The shattering is here, and the sound it makes is recognition. 5. The awakening. Within. When the outer world trembles, the true movement begins inside. Beneath the noise, beyond the chaos, there is a gentle stirring, a sacred unfolding that cannot be measured by clocks or calendars. This is the silent miracle of October 7th, the awakening that does not shout, but breathes. It enters softly, like dawn slipping through the window of the soul. Those who have walked long through darkness feel it first. It begins as a subtle warmth in the chest, a pulse behind the ribs, a strange peace that defies explanation. The heart, long burdened by memory and fear, begins to expand as if remembering how to trust. You may not see angels, but you will feel presence. Something luminous leaning close. It speaks without words, reminding you that you are never abandoned, only asleep. The awakening within is not a single moment, but a sequence of remembering. You remember that pain was never punishment, only passage. You remember that endings were not losses, but openings. You remember that what you feared losing was never truly yours to begin with. This remembering feels like light filtering through your bones. The more it enters, the less you resist. Stillness becomes the new language. Silence becomes instruction. You begin to crave quiet, not because you are weary of the world, but because the divine finally has space to speak. In meditation, you do not rise above yourself. You descend deeper into what was always divine. The voice you hear in stillness is not new. It is the echo of your own origin. There is no need for spectacle in awakening, no thunder, no flashing lights, only presence, vast, unmoving, alive. You may find tears arriving without sadness, laughter rising without reason, forgiveness spilling out where once there was bitterness. This is not emotion, it is purification. Every cell begins to loosen its grip on pain. Every memory softens under the weight of compassion. You do not have to force change. It happens naturally when light touches what is real. The heart becomes an altar. Breathing becomes prayer. Even the simplest act, drinking water, touching the earth, looking into another's eyes, becomes holy when done in awareness. You begin to see the divine not as distant but as immediate, not above, but within. The separation you once believed in begins to dissolve. You realize the presence you sought in the heavens has always been breathing through you. As October 7th moves closer, the veil between mind and spirit grows thinner. You may sense dreams that feel like messages, coincidences that speak like prophecy, moments that feel suspended between worlds. Do not dismiss them. The awakening communicates in whispers, not commands. Its language is subtle but unmistakable, a knowing that feels like peace. Those who listen inwardly will notice that the body too begins to align. Old aches fade. The breath deepens, the heartbeat finds a rhythm that matches the pulse of the earth. Your energy expands, no longer confined to the borders of skin. This is what the ancients called illumination, not the gaining of power, but the restoration of harmony. To awaken within is to remember the architecture of your own light. It is to feel eternity breathing inside a mortal frame. It is to realize that the divine has never been elsewhere. It has only waited for you to open the door. The noise of the world may still rage, but it no longer owns you. You have stepped into a silence that moves, a calm that creates, a stillness that burns. The shift that began in the heavens now moves through your blood. Every heartbeat is a new beginning, every breath is revelation, and in that inner light you finally understand. The turning point the prophet spoke of was never only out there. It has always been here, in the sanctuary of your own soul. 6. The new carriers of light. When the veil thins and the pulse of October 7th echoes through the unseen, those who have awakened will not return unchanged. They rise from silence carrying something unseen yet unmistakable, a frequency that alters the air around them. These are the new carriers of light, not born of titles or temples, but of endurance and surrender. They are the ones who endured the storm without cursing the sky, who listened when others shouted, who held faith when reason trembled. Their initiation was not ceremony, but survival. They do not arrive with crowns or robes, but with eyes that remember eternity. Light does not cling to them. It emanates from within, steady and unwavering. The world may not recognize them at first, for they move quietly. Yet wherever they walk, hearts begin to settle, and chaos forgets its rhythm. Their presence bends the atmosphere toward peace. They have become tuning forks for divinity, instruments through which creation hums its renewal. These souls are not here to escape the world. They are here to rebuild it through frequency. They speak less, but mean more. Their words carry resonance. Their silence carries instruction. When they touch others, they transfer remembrance. When they speak truth, illusion fractures. They are bridges between dimensions, human in form, celestial in purpose. Each carrier will be guided differently. Some will heal through touch, others through art, others through courage that awakens forgotten hope. Their power is not loud. It is contagious. Light multiplies through contact. A single glance, a word spoken at the right moment, can alter the trajectory of a soul still asleep. This is how the new order spreads, not by decree, but by presence. The new carriers of light understand that power is not possession, but flow. They do not hold the energy, they become conduits for it. The light passes through them like breath through lungs, purifying as it moves. This is why humility becomes their shield. Arrogance would interrupt the current. They have learned that the divine works best through those who no longer need to be seen. There will be times when the light feels heavy, when the energy they carry exposes the shadows around them. Relationships will shift. Environments will reject them. Truth will isolate them, yet they will not break, for their foundation is no longer the world's approval. Their stability is built on communion with the eternal. They draw strength from silence, nourishment from prayer, and clarity from the unseen. As this vibration spreads, systems once held by fear begin to dissolve. The carriers are not rebels, but restorers. They do not fight darkness, they outshine it. Their mission is not conquest, but alignment, to remind the world of its original harmony. Each act of kindness, each moment of forgiveness, each choice to love where hate once ruled is an act of creation. And though they walk among crowds, something in their eyes betrays them. It is the calm of those who have seen beyond endings. They carry storms within their stillness, galaxies in their gaze. Around them, the air itself seems to shimmer, not visibly, but energetically. They are living proof that prophecy is not something that happens to the world, but through it. The ancient ones foretold of a generation who would carry dawn in their hearts. They spoke of a time when humanity would remember itself as divine, when love would no longer whisper but command the very structure of reality. That time is no longer approaching. It has begun. The carriers of light are the dawn walking among us. Luminous, quiet, unstoppable. Every breath they take writes a new page in the unseen book of creation. Every heartbeat resounds as a promise kept between heaven and earth. They are the living covenant, the pulse of prophecy made flesh. The world turns, and with each turning their light grows stronger. The torch has passed, and you, are its flame. The day has passed through you like a wave through the ocean, leaving behind silence that hums with knowing. The skies may look the same, the streets unchanged, yet something irreversible has shifted. October 7th has not ended. It has unfolded. It continues to echo in the hidden chambers of consciousness, weaving its light into every breath you take. Nothing truly ends when awakening begins. The moment you opened your eyes to the invisible, the entire pattern of existence began to rearrange around you. Energy does not vanish. It transforms, carrying new meaning through familiar forms. The light that entered you does not fade when the moment passes. It settles in the bones, in the pulse, in the stillness behind your thoughts. You have become a vessel of continuity, a living thread between what was promised and what is being born. The world will not announce its renewal with fanfare. Change moves quietly, through compassion where there was judgment, through forgiveness where there was fear, through presence where there was absence. These are the miracles that mark the age of light. They arrive not in thunder, but in tenderness. Every small act aligned with love becomes a spark that feeds the dawn. You are no longer a seeker, you are an embodiment. The prophecy you heard was never about distant forces or celestial events. It was about this, the awakening of divine awareness within human hearts. You are the continuation of that revelation. Every time you choose clarity over confusion, courage over comfort, creation over despair, the prophecy expands through you. There will still be shadows. There must be, for light defines itself through contrast, but the shadows no longer rule. They serve as mirrors, reminding you where the light still wishes to dwell. When fear returns, and it will, remember that you are not the storm, but the calm beneath it. The truth you touched cannot be untaught. The song you heard cannot be unheard. The ancients once said that every cycle of illumination births a new lineage of keepers, souls who walk quietly, carrying the flame forward. You are among them now. Your presence alone alters the field of the world. You do not have to speak to be understood. The energy around you tells the story. Look around you. The signs are no longer distant. They move through ordinary moments, through laughter, through tears, through every glance that recognizes the same light in another. The awakening is not a moment in time. It is a living rhythm, unfolding endlessly. As the last echoes of October 7th dissolve into the eternal, remember, the prophecy was never outside you. It was written within, waiting for the hour you would remember to read it. That hour has come. The light continues. Through your breath, your choices, your becoming. The shift is not over. It has only just begun.